Hi, readers. Today, we are going to be working on RI3. We are going to analyze the interactions between individuals, events, and ideas in a text. Our I can statement for today is I can identify cause and effect and use it to determine how ideas influence individuals or events, or how individuals influence events or ideas. So we kind of have two parts to our I can statement today. But before we get started, I'd like to tell you about the smelly truth about cause and effect. So we're going to start out kind of basic, and then we are going to gradually get more and more difficult as we gain a better understanding of cause and effect. Here we go. All right. So the first thing is, what is a cause? A cause is something that makes something else happen. For example, the house is on fire because someone left the oven on. In this case, the cause is someone left the oven on. Let's look at an effect. An effect is what happens because of something else. In other words, the cause. Since Susie had been playing soccer for 2 hours, she needed to stop and get a drink of water. Well, the cause is she played soccer for 2 hours, and the effect is she needed to stop and get a drink of water. So the cause of playing soccer and exerting all that energy made her have to stop and get a drink of water. There are lots of words that you can use to help find cause and effect. Because, if, when, so, then, are just some examples. And of course, this is not a complete list, but these are words I kind of want you to be on the lookout for. My example is, it was getting hot. So, and there's our word, so, the snowman melted. Why did the snowman melt? The snowman melted because it was getting hot. So the cause is getting hot. The effect is the snowman melted. Are you starting to get it? We're going to find out. I'm going to give you a sentence, and I want you to stop and think which is the cause and which is the effect, depending on what I'm asking you. It says to click here. You are not going to click. All you're going to do is determine either the cause and effect based on what I'm asking you. Are you ready? Let's go. The baby elephant was scared, so it held its mother's tail. Which part of that sentence is the effect? Did you say held its mother's tail? If you did, you were correct. The effect of the baby being scared was it held its mother's tail. Let's look at another one. John went to the doctor because he was feeling sick. So what part of this sentence is the cause? If you said feeling sick, you are correct. He was feeling sick, so he needed to go to the doctor. And our cue was the word because. Let's look at another one. Brian made a nice card for his sister since it was her birthday. What part of the sentence is the cause? Did you say it was her birthday? Then you are correct. He made a card because it was her birthday. Since is another one of those cue words that you want to be looking for. All right, so it looks like you're getting it. Now we're going to take it a step further and see if you can handle some easy test questions. Let's get started. Charlie Franklin is in the 11th grade at Hunter High School. He is a bright student, but one night Charlie stayed up way too late watching TV. He knew he had a math test the next day at school. When he took the test, he failed it. What was the cause of Charlie failing his test? Think about this. We want to know the cause. And remember, the cause is the reason why. Did you say he stayed up too late? If you did, you were correct. Let's go to number 2. Donald had a dog named Bowser. Bowser loved to play catch. One day, Donald was playing with Bowser and the frisbee flew across the street. Bowser ran into the street and was hit by a car. When Donald got to Bowser, he was injured with a broken leg. What was the effect of Bowser getting hit by the car? Did Bowser die? The car was wrecked? He was injured with a broken leg? Or they never played frisbee again? I hope you said he was injured with a broken leg, because that is our effect. Number 3, Frank Patterson is a professional basketball player for the Texas Flames. Frank is an awesome player. He got terribly sick one morning, so he had to miss a game. Texas lost because they didn't have their star player, Frank. What was the effect of Frank getting sick? Frank missed the game. Frank's team was mad at him. Frank had to go to the hospital, or Frank had to have surgery. If you said the effect of Frank getting sick was Frank missed the game, you were correct. 2 more. Joe Brown is a man who spends all his free time fishing. One Saturday morning, Joe went fishing and caught an enormous fish. However, the fish got away because Joe didn't tie the string tight enough and it broke. What was the cause of Joe's fish getting away? Did Joe let the fish go? The hook broke? The fish was enormous? Or the string wasn't tight enough? Now this one, they've got a little trick. They're trying to play a trick on you. If you said the string wasn't tight enough, you were correct. If you said the hook broke, that means you focused in on that word broke. That was in the passage. It wasn't tight, the string wasn't tight enough and it broke. Well, it wasn't the hook that broke, it was the string that broke. So that was a chance for the testers to try to trick you. Last one. Sandra is a baker. She bakes wedding cakes for the bride and groom on their wedding day. One day, while she was making a cake, she set the oven too hot. There was a lot of smoke, and Sandra found that her cake was burnt. She had to start all over. What was the cause of Sandra's cake being ruined? Sandra was a bad baker. Sandra set the oven too hot. Sandra didn't pay attention, or there was a lot of smoke. Well, there was a lot of smoke, but that is not the cause of Sandra's cake being ruined. Sandra's cake was ruined because she set the oven too hot. All right, so I think you've got it. Now we're going to look a little bit further. We're going to crank up the heat in the kitchen and make it a little bit harder. All right, readers, now that we can identify cause and effect, which is the first part of our I can statement today, now we're going to take our knowledge of cause and effect and we're going to use it to determine how ideas influence individuals or events, or how individuals influence ideas or events. So we're going to begin by reading a passage on one of my favorite places in the whole world. And I'm sure some of you have been there. Some of you probably want to go there. It's the happiest place on earth, and it is Disney. So I'm going to leave our I can statement up there, and we're going to read about Disney's Magical Express. There's a new service at Walt Disney World called Disney's Magical Express. For free, this service picks you up at the airport and brings you to Walt Disney World. When your stay is over, it takes you back to the airport. The reason Walt Disney World began offering this service is because many people who were visiting Disney World were leaving the Disney World Resort and going to other places too. The Disney company wanted to keep people that were going to Disney World on their property. As a result of this service, Fewer guests are renting cars and traveling away from Disney World. This has not been good news for some other places like Universal Studios, though. Fewer people who visit Disney World are going to Universal Studios too. All right, so let's think about this. First of all, I saw some big Q words in there, and we're going to identify those. So my first clue words that I saw were, let's see, as a result, see that? The reason, look at this, it's telling us the reason. So our topic is going to be Disney's Magical Express. So our event or our fact is, we're going to call it Disney's Magical Express. All right, so that's our event or our fact or our topic. I'm actually going to add topic to the top of that. Topic, event, or fact. So I'm going to come up with 2 causes, and then I'm going to come up with 2 effects. And in the middle, we're going to do this part. We're going to determine how these ideas influence individuals or events, or how the individuals influence ideas or events. So that's going to be in the middle. So we're going to start with our causes, then we're going to move to our effects, and then we're going to try to determine the effect of those. So here we go. I think my first cause we've got is many Disney visitors also visited other resorts in Orlando. So if you see, many people who were visiting Disney were leaving the Disney World Resort and going to other places. So that is one cause for Disney's Magical Express. I'm going to write in my blank, many Disney visitors also visited other resorts in Orlando. That's my first cause. Now, Walt Disney World began offering this service is because, here's another one of our words, many people were visiting. The Disney company wanted to keep people that were going to Disney World on their property. So that's going to be my other cause. Disney wanted to keep people on their property. All right, so we have our 2 causes. Now we're going to go to our effects. The effects of Disney building the Magical Express, as a result, fewer guests are renting cars and traveling away from Disney World. So now I can say fewer guests now rent cars to visit other resorts. All right, so let's keep reading. This has not been good news for some other places like Universal Studios, though. Fewer people who visit Disney World are going to Universal Studios too. So I think this is going to be another one of my effects, is fewer people are visiting, I'm trying to think of what I want to say. Universal. So it's hurting their business, right? Because if they're getting fewer people, it's going to hurt their business. They're suffering. The business suffers. So now we have to come up with how the ideas influence individuals or how individuals influence ideas. So if you'll remember, the whole reason Disney had to come up with the idea of building the Magical Express was because it wanted to keep people on their property. So if we stop and we think, this is going to be an example of how individuals influence ideas. So basically, Disney had a problem, and their problem was that people were leaving their property and not staying. They were going to other places. And so the behavior of the people by going to other properties caused Disney to have to brainstorm and create the Magical Express. I'm going to say people were going places other than Disney World. So Disney created Disney's Magical Express. So people were going places other than Disney World. So Disney created Disney's Magical Express. Do you see how the individuals, the people, because of what they were doing, Disney had to come up with a new idea? And these are the causes, and these are the effects. So you are going to try this now on your own. It's tough work, but I'm confident that you can do this. So go ahead and click on the arrow at the bottom and complete the next part of your assignment. Thanks, readers, and have a great day.